Lesson 2, Kingdom Plantae. Introduction. In the first lesson, we learned that all multicellular eukaryotic organisms which are autotrophic, that is photosynthetic, are grouped under Kingdom Plantae. They can be aquatic or terrestrial. They show sedentary nature. The cell wall of plant cells is composed of two cellulose. The plant cells possess photosynthetic pigment, chlorophyll, with which they can synthesize carbohydrates in presence of sunlight, water, and CO2, and release oxygen in air in this process. So, the plants help us to check the air pollution. The plants are the main producers, and almost all the living beings depend upon the plants for their food requirements indirectly or directly. Thus, the plants are the most important biotic components of the ecosystem, as the life on the earth is impossible without plants. Let us learn more about the kingdom Plantae. The plant kingdom is broadly classified into two subkingdoms, which are cryptogamy and phanerogamy. Cryptogams are non-flowering plants, whereas phanerogams produce flowers. In this lesson, let us learn the kingdom Plantae in detail. Things we will learn. Cryptogams. Groups of cryptogams and salient features of each group, that is algae, bryophytes, and pteridophytes. Phanerogams. Detailed characters of gymnosperms and angiosperms. Classes of angiosperms, monocotyledonous and dicotyledonous. Importance of botanical gardens and herbaria. Elaboration. Cryptogams. Their groups and features of each group. Kingdom Plantae, cryptogamy, phanerogamy. Cryptogamy. Cryptos, conceived, gamos, marriage. The sex organs in these plants are concealed. Normally in nature we observe that plant produces flowers, which produce seeds after fertilization. But the cryptogams are spore-producing plants. They do not produce seeds and flowers. They reproduce sexually, but the sex organs are concealed. Example, in nephrolipid, the sex organs called antheridia and archaeogenia are produced on the ventral surface of the gametophyte, that is, prothallus. The peculiarity of the cryptogams is that they show alternation of generations in their life cycle. There are two phases, haploid and diploid. Haploid means chromosome number is half. A sexual reproduction takes place by spores produced by the sporophytic phase. Spores germinate to form a gametophyte, which produces gametes. Gametes fuse to form a young sporophyte, which develops spores in later stages. These two generations, that is sporophyte and gametophyte, occur alternately. In pteridophytes like nephrolipids, that is ferns, the sporophyte is the dominant, diploid, autotrophic, and is differentiated into roots, stem, and leaves. Let us study the three major groups of cryptogams. They are algae, bryophytes, and pteridophytes. Division algae. Mostly aquatic, some may be terrestrial, few grow on other plants. Aquatic algae grow in marine or fresh water. Most of them are free living. Some show symbiotic association with fungi and form lichen. Example, Asmia is an algae forming lichen. The plant body is thalloid, that is thallus. There are various types of organization of thallus and they vary in size. Example, Chlorella, non-motile, microscopic. Chlamydomonas, motile. Spirogyra, multicellular, unbranched filaments with ribbon-like chloroplast. Oscillatoria, trichomes unbranched. The apical portion of trichome oscillates and hence the name. Terminal cell dome shape. Bluish-green cytoplasm in cells. Trichomes covered with mucilage sheath. Rectangular brick-like cells. Distinct by concave separation, this at intervals. Volvox. Colonial form. Colonies motile and spherical like a hollow ball. Cells with a cup-shaped chloroplast and two flagella arising from the anterior end. Cells are pear-shaped. Stellate chloroplasts connected to each other by cytoplasmic bridge. Chloroplast with centrally located pyrenoid. Uninucleate cell. Batrachospermum. Thallus much branched, multiaxial covered with mucinin. Main axis differentiated into nodes and internodes. From the nodes are produced lateral branches of two types: branches of unlimited growth or long branches, branches of limited growth or short branches. Short branches moniliform form globose structure, glomerule. Cara, branched filamentous branches of unlimited growth with nodes and internodes. Branches of limited growth develop sex organs. Male sex organs are globules and female sex organs are nucellus. Sex organs ensheathed. Sargassum, huge macroscopic seaweed measuring more than 60 meters in length. Externally resembles small angiospermic plants. Main axis, that is stipe, bears lateral branches, grows attached mainly to the rock with the help of basal holdfast. Leaf-like sterile branches show cryptostomata, axillary air bladders for storage of air for buoyancy. Fertile branches are called receptacles. They develop sex organs in the cavities called conceptacles. Sargassum is economically important. It is used as fertilizer, fodder in food products like jelly, ice cream, etc. Used as emulsifier in paint industry. It is used as sizing material in paper and textile industry. Odogonium, multicellular, unbranched filament. Apical cell is dome-shaped, single chloroplast forming a reticulum. Towards the anterior end, the cell carries number of striations called caps. They indicate the number of divisions the cell has undergone. Lowermost cell in a filament is colorless, holdfast. Division Bryophyta. Bryon means moss, phyton means plant. They grow in shady and moist places such as damp rocks, moist walls, decaying logs, etc. Thalloid plant body not differentiated into roots, stems, and leaves. Example, liverworts like Rixia and Marchantia. Mosses. Example, Funaria and Sphagnum. Foliose thallus is present, that is, it bears leaf-like structures. Hornworts, example, Anthoceros. The bryophytes are called as amphibian plants. They are mostly terrestrial plants which depend on external water for fertilization and completion of their life cycle. 960 genera and about 24,000 species of bryophytes have been identified. True roots absent, but rhizoids are present. In liverworts, the rhizoids are unicellular extensions of epidermal cells on ventral surface of thallus. In Rixia, two types of rhizoids are seen: smooth-walled and tuberculate. Tuberculate rhizoids have peg-like or plate-like projections developed from the wall and projecting into the lumen. Rhizoids carry out the function of absorption of water and minerals and fixation of thallus to substratum. In mosses, the rhizoids are multicellular. Mosses have leaf-like structures, but they are not true leaves. Flowers and seeds are not produced. Vascular tissues are absent in bryophytes. In mosses, a conducting strand of few thick-walled cells is present. Alternation of generation. The bryophytes show heteromorphic alteration of generation, in which the gametophyte is the dominant, green haploid and independent phase. Sporophyte is diploid, recessive, and partially dependent on gametophyte. In bryophytes, the vegetative reproduction takes place by special structures like tubers and gametes. Asexual reproduction takes place by spore formation. Sexual reproduction takes place by the formation of gametes. Division Pteridophyta, also called as vascular cryptogams. Pteron is feather and Phyton is plant. First vascular terrestrial plants with true roots. Plants have feather-like, that is pinnate leaves. Only cryptogams with vascular tissue. They have a primitive conducting system. About 400 genera and 10,500 species of pteridophytes have been identified. They emerged during the late Paleozoic era. The xylem consists of only tracheids and phloem consists of sieve cells only. Secondary growth is not seen in pteridophytes due to absence of cambium. Pteridophytes do not produce flowers, fruits, and seeds. Examples: plants are small, annual, or perennial. Nephrolepis, that is fern. Terrestrial, grows luxuriantly in moist, shady places. The sporophyte of Nephrolepis consists of stem as underground rhizome or cortex, adventitious roots, and unipinnately compound leaves. Rhizome produces lateral branches called stolones for vegetative propagation. Leaves megaphilous, spirally arranged with circinate vernation. Each leaf with basal leafless type and upper frond bearing leaflet. Leaflet is linear, lanceolate, sessile, that is without petioles, crenate margin, auricult with forked venation. A triangular brown multicellular outgrowth is present on rhizome and stolon, distinctly articulated at the broad ends. It is called ramentum. Function: protection. Hydathodes, water stomata or chalk glands present on upper surface of leaflets near vein ending along the margin. It is shallow oval cavity surrounded by epithelial cells. Function: loss of water through cetacean. Azolla, Marsilia are aquatic pteridophytes. Equisetum, xerophytic pteridophyte. The sporophyte of Equisetum is herbaceous perennial with creeping branched underground rhizome and erect green aerial branch stem. Rhizome and aerial branches are distinctly joined with nodes and internodes. There is a whole of scaly leaves at the base of internode. Stem is photosynthetic. Adventitious roots present at the nodes of underground rhizome. The sporangia form reproductive structures called cones or strobili at the tip of reproductive branch. Spores are present inside sporangia. Equisetum is a unique plant showing hydrophytic characters of the stem, along with xerophytic peculiarities. The stem has carinal canals in vascular bundle filled with air. Presence of central fixed cavity filled with water in mature stem. Lycopodium is epiphytic pteridophyte growing on large trunks of trees. Alternation of generations in pteridophytes. The pteridophytes show heteromorphic alteration of generations, in which the sporophyte is diploid, dominant, autotrophic, and independent. It is differentiated into root, stem, and leaves. The stem may be aerial or underground. The primary root is short-lived and is soon replaced by adventitious root. The sporophyte shows asexual reproduction and produces spores by meiosis, that is, reduction division. Haploid gametophyte develops in this process. Gametophyte is recessive but independent. It reproduces sexually and produces zygote. Zygote produces diploid sporophyte. It develops simple leaves at first. Sporophyte is dependent upon gametophyte only till the first leaf and roots develop. Depending upon the spores produced, pteridophytes are grouped into two categories: homosporous, producing only one type of spores, and heterosporous, that is, two different types of spores, small microspores and large megaspores. Spores are produced in sporangia. In Nephrolipis, the sporangia are produced in kidney-shaped sori, singular sorus, present on the lower surface of a fertile leaflet along the margin near vein endings. Sori are green in color in young condition and become brown at maturity. Sporangium has a long multicellular stalk with upper swollen biconvex capsule. Capsule with outer jacket layer showing major portion of thick-walled cells forming annulus ring and few elongated thin-walled cells forming stomium. Spores present inside the capsule are discharged through stomium. Nephrolipis, Equisetum, homosporous. Equisetum spores are spherical and each is surrounded by two spiral bands, elaters. Elaters have spoon-shaped tips. Elaters are hygroscopic and help in dispersal of spores. Spores with coiled elaters, spores without coiled elaters. Some special methods of reproduction in pteridophytes. Apogamy. The sporophyte develops without the fusion of the male and female gametes. It arises